Oh,
Cool. So we organize events by developing certain processes.
okay.
And these processes interrelate, and that's what creates the conditions for emergent, aligned, collective action. This is how we organize an action learning journey. Each of these names here are different domains, different process domains. And each of these process domains is a literal subdomain. So you can have enroll.prisma. I don't know if I've actually changed the name. No, I think I used to be calling enroll register. So just imagine it says enroll.prisma.events. You can then have potentialize, and you can have enact. So you see each of these subdomains here, they all map onto a process domain. Enroll, enact, potentialize. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
So they each have their own app, and that app is meant to sort of like multiply the facilitation capacities that are used or needed through that um, domain. But anyway, that was just a tangent to say now I've enrolled potentialize, which is like the connection between those two. And I just think people are gonna think it's starting to get ridiculously complex. But yeah. Anyway, bit of a tangent. Okay, so let's start mapping out um, what we've discussed so far.
Yeah.
If you want to talk, I will draw. And then if you want to switch, let me know. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So where do you want to start?
The registration.
Cool. So we've got
Yes.
register.wada.org.
True.
Actually, I'll just put register. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay, what next?
Um, so Tally picks data from the registration.
Yeah.
Tally, yeah, and then sends that data to the webhook,
Yes.
which then sends data back to enrollment.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can. And your question was, why does it send it back?
back to yeah
Yeah.
to register.
Okay. Um. Suppose there's different ways to interpret that question. Functionally, it sends it back so that the API can then process the data. Um, actually, this webhook is part of the register. It lives in the register app as well, kind of. That was something that I wanted to clarify. Well, basically, Pali also has an API.
Okay.
And but I don't know if technically you call them both. It's just APIs talking to each other, or if there's like a better way to phrase it.
Mm.
But we send
So
it
this
back
way,
to register because there's Okay. It's a little bit clearer like that.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes sense. So, this webhook are being embedded to boot Tally and the registration page.
The Tally form is embedded in the register app.
Okay.
So there's
Okay.
there's two directions here. Or actually, yeah. So this needs to be the other way around. This arrow, I think, to say that embed. So the Tally form is embedded in here. So that means when you complete the form, it looks like you're in the register app.
Yeah.
Um, it looks like you're still in the same registration app, but now you're actually using Tally to complete the form. So then the form, Tally receives the form data and it sends it to the register app. What happens after the register app receives the data on the webhook API? It then
Let's send the backend data to the Potentialise app.
yes, pretty much. Pretty much. How does it, what's the step in between? There is a queue. The Redis queue.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
You're invited.
Thank you.
I made a
Joy.
tea for me and Carlos.
Oh, he's not in yet.
He's here.
Hello, Carlos.
He says hello. All right. So this is the register app, and you can see the API here. No, this isn't it. Oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
I just realized something. I actually, that's interesting. So
Missed something.
I just realized that I used the webhook from the Prisma instance instead of the WADA instance. But it's a very minor detail. But it's interesting. So yeah, this Kali sends the data to this API. Register API submission. And that's here, API submission. Okay. And what that does is it sends the data to the Redis queue. That's the backend. That's here. So enrollment submissions. So that's how you get the form data. So that it goes from here to Redis queue. Boom. Okay. Was that clear?
Yeah. Yes.
It was a bit fast, but a bit scatty. All right, what next? Now we jump into another app to get it.
Potentialise.
Yeah, to get it onto the map.
Yeah. Oh, so the Redis queue thing. Okay. So okay, the data gets to the Redis queue before to the Potentialise app. Okay. Okay. The data.
Yeah. And then you know how we were saying we want to map it out.
Yes.
We want to get it onto the map, but
Yeah.
the data as it currently is doesn't have the coordinates.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to get a coordinate first.
Exactly. So how are you going to get the coordinates? That was what I addressed on the weekend.
Mm. I get it.
Mm,
So each participant has to then show the location.
yeah,
Or okay.
they have that in the form. They fill out their. Ooh, I shouldn't show. There's no data on recording. They have to fill out their city/town and their country.
Yeah. Papa. Yeah.
But it's still not coordinates. So how are you gonna map them?
Still no coordinates.
Nope.
But how do you map the coordinates if the participant don't show their location?
Exactly.
They need to show it first. You confused you.
Okay. So
Or that.
again, it was a design choice. I could have asked for um for the I could have asked for the coordinates in the form. In the
Okay.
form here, I could have asked them to city, town, country. Strong wind in Spain, in Barcelona today, and people are worrying
Strong
if the
wind.
roof. Yeah,
Wind. Did you say wind?
wind. The air like.
Oh. It's because Barca won the match.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Um, Latin long. Uh,
Mhm.
but that would have introduced friction in to the user experience of filling the form. That would have
Yes.
then required the users to do more work, and I didn't really want to do
Yeah.
that. No one likes filling a
Okay.
form. So to avoid that, I just kept it simple, city, town, country, because I knew that probably we could do that with a service. And luckily, I was not wrong.
Mhm.
Um, so I used this service called OpenCage, and it gives you 2,500 free API requests a day, which is more than enough for us.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and what that means is I can send the city and the country, and it will send me in response the latitude and longitude.
Oh, okay. So the services use the city and the country where the person says is from and gives you the coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's not the person's real coordinates, it's the city's coordinates, real-time coordinates.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
the it's this yeah, it's the cities. Yeah, it's not of each person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking it would be
Oh,
cool to map each person. What I actually am thinking I want to do at some point is, the timelining.
yeah,
I want to get that code to pick up a GPS signal. So each time you send a
mm,
contribution with a voice note, it maps a dot on the map. So then, because the timelining has a lot more data, we, with just 20 of us, we generated like 400
yeah,
timelining entries.
plus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Imagine if now there's like 400, 500 people doing that. So how much more is that? It's like 50 times more. No,
50 times.
no. That that
No,
maths
no,
was
that's
wrong.
20 times. 20 times. Okay, 20 times.
20, yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 times more. 20,
Yeah.
what's 20 times 400? Um,
Somewhere 8,000.
8,000, yeah. So
Yes.
imagine 8,000 little dots mapped onto the potentialized map. How cool would that
Mm.
be? And then
That'd
imagine
be like the word.
you click into the dots and you can like hear the timelining entries, the voice notes.
Ah, that's great. That would be
I reckon
interesting.
I reckon we could do that for this event, but depends. Um, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So yeah, you have this
Yeah.
service and you send in the city and the country and it returns the latitude and longitude, and that's how you can map it on here. Except we're only up to this stage so far. We've only got to here, the Redis queue, so we need to keep going with the system mapping.
Yeah.
All right.
So we then connect the Redis queue to the potentializer. We talked about that, right?
Yes.
The data is then sent to the potentializer. I
The
think the Redis queue is embedded, right?
the Potentialise app reads the Redis queue.
Okay. Okay.
So, your really good question of how are you going to map it if you don't have the lat and long,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How would you address that?
Using the services, we um, just when the service pick the person's using the services, we sense the location, the country, and then the city to the service, which then generates a coordinates for us of the city. So that's
How are
how
you going to,
come we have been able to
yeah, yes, definitely, definitely. How are you going to automate that?
automate. If the service does the service not automate it?
The That part of the service is, yeah, when you when you provide the place and the when you provide the city, it automatically can generate the latitude and longitude for the coordinates. But
Mm.
right now, we just have the data in the we just have data like this. Actually, we have it here already. We've got to this point. We just had the data like this. So if we would want to do that, we would currently have to do it 476 times by looking through here and copying the city and town one, Control C, you
That
know,
would be a very huge. That's a plenty work.
plenty work,
So
plenty work.
yeah.
Charlie.
So I think did you say Charlie? Interested. Uh,
So how are you going to
then
automate it?
we have to then it's not everybody. We sense information, automatically sense information. Just like Tally receives information from the registration page and then sends it to the webhook automatically. I
Yeah,
think we automatically connect the information, the data from the webhook to Tally. No, sorry, to the service, which then automatically pulls the city and country
yeah,
from the data.
yes, right.
Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. Okay, so let's map that out.
Yeah.
Um, the key word there was pull the data. So,
Mm, yeah.
so
So which data is being pulled now? Is it from the Redis or from the webhook?
from the Redis,
From the Redis. Okay.
because the
To
webhook doesn't have any data. The webhook just sends the data. It's no storage.
okay. Okay.
Sorry about this sound effect.
Okay. Oh, come
Um,
on.
so we then are going to be in this Potentialise app,
Yeah.
and it's going to
Haven't you
put.
skipped?
Sorry.
Haven't you skipped a step?
Ooh, what step?
The service. I think
It kind of it comes after, because
already.
yeah, because first we need to pull the data. Remember we were saying, oh, Control C would be
Yeah,
plenty
yeah, yeah.
work. This step is to basically automate the Control C part. So we pull in the data, and then we're gonna
Okay.
use it in the service.
Okay. So
Okay.
the Potentialize app is where the map is being shown and the coordinate of the participants, right?
Yes.
Each participant.
So we're now working
Yes.
in the back end of this app.
Okay.
And when I was asking you how you're going to automate it, I was thinking about this script because are you familiar with what a script is?
Not sure.
Kind of. It's um, it's just it's basically a file that runs code.
Okay. I
Um,
I understand.
or even less than that. It's like when if you're doing acting in a play and you have a
That's
script.
yeah. You follow the scripts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
the same thing in code.
Good in there. Yeah. So
So
it's flowing.
we just define the script that's going to take the data and generate the coordinates. That's it.
Okay.
And then that
Hmm.
script, okay, okay, there's more info we can add, but for now, we'll just stay there. So that's how we're going to automate the control C part, yeah? Are you drawing this on with your pen and paper at the same time?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool, cool. Does it help to
Yes.
make it click when you are drawing it out?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Great, great. Okay, so then basically we're in, let's look at that script then now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the script. It is, it's quite long, 290 lines of code.
Oh,
Okay, and all that it basically does is, you see here these two names, enrollment submission, and then enrollment submissions geo.
okay.
That basically summarizes the whole purpose of the script. It goes from this table or this list into that list. That's what the
Okay.
script does. It transforms this data, enrollment submissions, that looks like that, all of that, transforms all of that into something that looks like this.
Okay.
Okay, that's what that script does.
Yeah.
It's like one step from there to there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the key
Okay.
is it adds the Latin long. All right, now let's look at the script. What is needed to get from there to there? Well, first of all, you have this. Let's start at the end. It says, if you're running the script, run the script. Carlos gave me a little.
Interesting.
Fucking hell. All right. And what does that really mean? it's here. That function is this, and it basically, let me read through it, what it does. Okay, so it uses cache. It caches the data, which makes it a little bit. Oh no, yeah, sorry. Okay, so it reads the data from that first list without the coordinates. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I know, sorry. It reads it from the list with the coordinates. And it checks and it caches it. So that later it can say which submissions have already been processed. So that later it can skip it if it's already been processed. Then, so don't worry about that too much for now. That's additional logic that's not absolutely essential. Let's just see, let's see the really essential stuff. Here, it gets all of the data of the list without the coordinates. That first one here gets all of this data, all 447 of them, and then it parses it if it needs to, and then it starts to process each one by one. Goes through the whole 477 and goes duck 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 one by one. A lot of sound effects today.
Okay.
Yeah, it says if I've already processed it, don't need to process it again. Then it tries to categorize it. Is it a hub or is it a participant? Okay, it's not very
Okay.
scalable, that logic for now, but then it reads out all of the fields. So in here in the data, these top level keys, you have some kind of backend stuff from Tally. When was the form created? Blah, blah, blah. Then you have the data itself. And in the data itself, you have the ID of the, don't know what responses, the ID of the submission, the ID of the respondent, the ID of the form. Then you have the form name. This is something I defined. And then you have the fields, all of the fields. And these are the questions. Full name, preferred name, email, phone number. I feel really bad that I'm showing a lot of personal data. Don't mean to do that. Okay, so that again, just for making it really tangible, you can edit these forms without any code. So anyone non-technical can write into this form. Imagine favorite color was really meaningful for how we wanted to map something. So maybe we could make each dot their own color. We could collect that there. Someone could add that into the form without needing any code. But anyway, you have all of these fields. These are all saved under the fields key, and we read all of the fields in. So it's basically getting all of the data from the form. Then it says, if we're a hub, resolve it as if it's a hub. If it's a participant, resolve it as if it's a participant. Because they had slightly different forms, so we need to get the location slightly differently. So this function there, resolve participant location, is what runs the lookup with this city, and it gets the coordinates in the resolve participant's location. Then it says, okay, if that didn't really work, then just continue. But if it did, convert it into a formal type that has these specific attributes, because then we're going to add that to the output and we're going to add it to the queue. And that, my friend, goes into this queue here, and that is how you get the Latin long. I think he's frozen. Right, I'm going to be right back as he rejoins. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay, okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay, where did we get up to? Should we continue? We've only got
Yeah,
about 10 minutes left.
yes. We haven't, you said we're going to talk about something when chaos comes.
Oh, we were gonna do a test of our deployment when
Yeah,
Carlos and Echo come. But because Sila is mobile and Echo isn't here. I think we should save it for next week.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So where did we get up to?
Yeah,
Yeah, we went through the script.
yeah, the script, the network code broken.
Yeah, I saw your network broke. How much of the script did it cover before it broke?
A lot, but I don't remember the last. Let me see if I can remember the last thing we were talking about. We're talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It says my internet is unstable, but it's active.
Yeah, I heard you clearly. Um, so shall I go through it all again?
No, no. Let's just skip. I get how it. I get
The
what the script
main,
does. So
okay, the main logic
mm,
is it gets all of the messages from this queue, from the enrollment
mm,
submissions,
mm,
this one, where the data looks like that.
okay.
And then for each message, it categorizes it and it gets the location, the coordinates for the hubs and the participants. And then it sends it to this queue, enrollment submissions geo, which is that one. And it looks like that.
This is the automation process.
Yeah, that's the automation. So I'll show you how it gets the coordinates for the participant, for example. But you see this code,
Yeah.
I just want you to have an example of like how of going from something as a concept of what you know needs to happen functionally to the code. Because you asked a great question, how are you going to get the Latin, how are you going to get the coordinates if you only have the city and the country? And this script, these exact lines of code from 219 to 281 are how you do that.
Wow.
And it goes from this data to that data. And so, and the main function in here is these two functions where we get the coordinates for the hubs and the participants slightly differently. So let's look at the participant one. This is the function here, 172 to 217. And what it basically does is it gets the data from the fields. You know how, or actually, before I go into this in detail, is there any questions you wanted to ask? Or should I
Mm,
keep going?
um, not really. Are we still recording?
Yeah, okay.
So we have barely 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So apart from this, do we have something to talk about? So we know how to utilize 10 minutes more.
Um, you have something else to talk about, or are you asking me?
I'm asking.
Um, well, think, yeah, for today in the 10 minutes, what would be good would be if we can get to the stage of this, of the front end again, of the front end of the potentialize. And if we can map it out in here, because we came from the front end of the enroll, we came from this front end where participants submit their forms, and we're going to try and get now to this front end of the map, and we're almost there. Okay, should we keep going?
Yeah. Can we start the recording for now? I want to say
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Okay, let me stop sharing screen.
Stop sharing the screen.
Yeah,